Hello and welcome to another edition on Tuesdays with Liz, a disability policy for all. This month is Disability Awareness Month, and today we're going to be talking to Sara Luterman, who is a program assistant here at AUCD, and we're about what it is like to be working side by side with people without disability, because Sara has autism. So welcome, Sara.
Thanks, Liz.
The first question is, what does diversity in the workplace mean to you?
So diversity in the workplace means that there's a lot of different kinds of people with a lot of different work styles, and everyone is given what they need to succeed. It's not just about people that look different, it's also about people that think differently. So you need to be flexible and make space for people who do things differently too. Diversity is important because you get a lot of different viewpoints, and people who are different from you see things, sometimes really big things, that you might otherwise miss. Ultimately, I think that leads to a better product.
Okay, great, thank you. The next question is, what do you think are the biggest lessons that you have learned and taught others from working alongside people without disabilities?
Well, I think the biggest thing I've learned is that I need to be honest and straightforward about being disabled. When I haven't is when I've really, really struggled. I'm autistic, and what I need to do my best work is different from my non-autistic peers, and that's okay. Being good at something is way more important than being like everybody else. And I kind of wish I could get in a time machine and tell my past self that. It would have made my life a lot easier. In terms of the biggest, I should mention, my team rolled out this thing called the Diversity and Inclusion Toolkit last year to the AUCD network. AUCD's central office is learning and growing along with the rest of the network. So part of implementing that has been developing infrastructure that supports diversity and inclusion. So I worked with Dawn, my manager, to develop an accommodation plan, and hopefully that will lead to a template that future employees with disabilities at AUCD can use.
And maybe it could be used for everyone else, because I as a person with a disability really believe that we as people with disability are teaching people about what it is like to be working with disabilities.
Yeah, I guess in terms of what I've taught other people, well, I'm really early in my career, so probably not that much yet. But working in the disability field does mean that I have a lot of coworkers who are parents or family of disabled children or disabled adults, and a lot of parents think that because their autistic child has challenging behaviors, that means the kid's whole life is going to be difficult and they're not going to accomplish anything, and that's just not true. I did a lot of stuff when I was a kid that was really difficult for me and my family. Heck, I even still do some of those things, although I'm better able to regulate now. But I went to college, I even went to grad school, and I'm in a loving long-term relationship, and I have friends. And my development wasn't traditional, but I think it's better to go the journey than to do it the way everybody else expects you to do it. And so sometimes there are a lot of things I can't do, but that doesn't mean that people with disabilities can't succeed. I really love being able to model for parents what their kid might be able to do when they grow up with adequate support.
Great, thank you. Why do you think it is important for people without disability to be working alongside people with labels?
I think people...
With labels.
Oh, sorry. I think people are scared of what they don't understand or experience. It's irrational, but it's the way it is. A lot of people are scared or awkward around people who are disabled. I think spending more time with us really helps get rid of that bias. Non-disabled people really need to work alongside disabled people so they can see that we're also just people. It's also important that disabled people work with non-disabled people because when segregation happens, abuse and unfairness is more likely to happen. There's no such thing as separate but equal. It's not real. Historically, separate but equal systems, when they've been set up, have gone poorly for the group that was separated from the mainstream.
Okay, thanks. Are there any tools that have helped you in either working here or working other places that has helped other people to understand how best to work alongside you?
Yeah, so I mentioned the accommodation plan that I worked on with my manager, Dawn, and it lists a number of both things I need in order to concentrate better at work and things I need in order to just be more comfortable and productive. I actually brought some for some show and tell, I guess. So I did a short training recently with the staff about these, which are called color communication badges. I hang one outside of my cube so that people know how up I am for having face-to-face communication. Some days I really need to be left by myself, especially if I'm concentrating, because it's hard for me to get back on task once I've been interrupted. So it's got 3 colors. There's green for, yeah, come on in and talk to me. Yellow for, I'm working on something, if it's important, come on in, but I probably need to be left alone. And red for, I really need to not have a conversation right now, if that's okay. It's great because it lets me communicate that to my peers without me having to feel like I'm being confrontational or rude. Because when I don't want to talk to people, it's not about me not liking them, it's about my own capacity and my ability to get work done. I also have these, which are noise canceling headphones. They're the kind that get used at like firing ranges or at airports. And I use them to block out sound because sound can be really distracting for me. That includes like louder things like people talking that other people will notice, and also some quieter things like computer fans buzzing that others might not notice. And then I also have this, which is, I have a few different things like this. This is called a stim toy, and I use it to help me concentrate. Sometimes fiddling with something will help me focus.
Great. I can feel to learn a lot from you. Are there any other things that I missed that you would like to get across to people when we're talking about working side by side?
I think I've talked a lot about what it's like to work with my non-disabled peers, but I guess I'd like to say a little bit about what it's like to work with you. I really love working with you, Liz, because you're such an experienced activist, and it's really inspiring to me how much that you've done.
Thank you.
And I think that's also why it's important to have more than one disabled person in the workplace, because we're able to support each other too.
Great. I really have enjoyed talking to you. One thing I really appreciate you is that sometimes if I get upset about something that someone does or say to me that they don't understand about who I am, then I can bounce it off of you to say, gee, am I just being a jerk, or this is a problem. So thank you. If you Thank you, and if you have any more questions if you have questions or about this or any other policy issues, please go to the AUCD webpage and look for this week's in brief how to hire people with disability or any other employment issues. And if you have any questions or concerns about this, questions or comments about this edition of Tuesdays with Liz, please leave them in the space below. Before I go, I would like to just encourage everyone to employ people like Sara and others, because I think we can all learn from people with disability. So thank you again, Sara, and have a nice day. Bye.